Hello friends, here we have a certified Rotham theory in our corner today. I'll mention like 5 to 6 points about the differences between an employee and a freelancer. I want to start by saying there's nothing good about being a tenant or bad about being independent. It's all very personal, very dynamic in terms of our lives and work. So I don't want to imply that one is better or worse. It's just reality as we understand it. So the first thing is an employee, unlike a freelancer, needs to have a lot on a bit. He needs to specialize in something very, very clear and do it in the best way he can. In contrast, being independent, one must also know his profession as best as possible, hopefully. But in addition, he also needs to know a bit about a lot of topics. For instance, it should be a bit about insurance, a bit about risks, a bit about miracles, a bit about contracts, a bit about advertising, a bit about Facebook, a bit about cash flow, and so on and so forth. Meaning, these are two very different approaches to attitude. Another thing to mention, where usually there are clear hours, fixed rate, a very defined, very clear job. Don't expect miracles, but the job is known, that's the title, thank you. In my own world, it's totally different, you have nothing there. Surely at the beginning, neither day nor night, you work also after hours, you talk about it, and you do things even outside the standard times if you really want to succeed. You actually have a third difference, which is very, very big. This fundamental principle is a clash of two values between security and freedom. Broadly speaking, broadly speaking, broadly speaking. He wants more freedom, how much he will earn, when he will work and when he won't, and so on. And the knife wants more security. Pension funds and social conditions matter to him. It's about the big picture, but it's two opposing views. No business activity is usually for the self-employed. It can be said is the central axis of their life, and around that he actually builds his whole life, meaning there's the axis of his business, the business activity, and around that he builds his time with his wife, with his children, with his friends, with themselves, their personal identity, their physical exercises. And to pave the way in Persians is a bit different, very clear, very organized, and it doesn't really have to be the center of life. It could be something quite mundane. When oneself naturally wants to succeed, then the relativity is very different. Another thing for myself, unlike an employee, there really isn't a ceiling to how much he can earn. He actually has the researcher to earn as much as he wants on one hand, but also both. In fact, an employee usually has a very clear role. There's a glass ceiling that's accepted in his profession, in his field, etc. And here, actually, the story ends at the point of liberation. And of course, in the end, the employee works for others. So he promotes his employer's interests, the company where he works. And when he finishes the work, after 5 to 10 years each in his own time, he actually leaves all his produce, just leaves it from behind. Yes, he learned, he specialized. He thought it was a trial, that it was wonderful compared to the independence. He's actually gaining a reputation, he's accumulating assets, he can accumulate money, can accumulate interest, reputation as a company, and everything he does ultimately serves it. So of course it is like that, independent and risky on the edge of the fork. I'd love to hear your comments, your thoughts. I'll see you in the next video. And he arranged for you, for everyone,